Only some tongue twister and some idioms.
I'm so looking forward to the tongue twister.
I bet.
Okay, 6 seconds to go and we'll be live. If you found us on Facebook, thank you. Found us on YouTube, thank you. And I'm going to take the card away. And, well, hopefully, if things go according to plan, the screen should change and you should see Angelika and I.
No, I can't see me.
You can't see you?
No, now I can see me and I can see you.
Okay, right, that's good. Hello, Angelika. How are you today?
Hello, Steven. Mir geht es gut.
Und mir geht es gut. Mir geht es gut auch.
Mir geht es auch gut.
Right, okay, that's the first correction of the day. Welcome to the show. And the show today is, if I hide that, I had to get this to scroll because it was too big to fit on the...
It is. Idioms and tongue twisters. Oh, no, we've got G now. We've got tongue twister G, not F.
We've got the right episode number there.
We've got the right episode number.
Yeah. Would you like to explain what we're going to do?
Well, I've found some idioms and I found, well, actually, there are quite a few idioms, so I've chosen some of those. They all have the letter G in there. Well, there is a keyword, let's say this way, beginning with G, and a couple of them actually are with the color grün, which begins with G. And to Stephen's delight, I've only found one tongue twister.
Yay.
With the letter G in it, but it's quite a hard one because it's sort of it is a tongue twister because it's got some lovely, in inverted commas, letter combinations in there, which makes it quite hard to say. So that's something to look forward to.
Oh, I am so looking forward to it. As I appear back on screen next to you, and we say hello to Chris in Belgium, who's saying hello Steven and Angelika. And thank you for finding us. And we say hello to Corinda.
Oh, hello, Corinda.
And Corinda's comments saying hello, say hey. Okay, so the way this works, we've got 7 phrases to go through. I shall read them in German. Angelika will correct me, and then we'll hope to translate them together. So let's go with phrase number 1. Now, you can read these out yourself loudly because nobody can hear you. So if you say the phrases along with me, that will be good. Right. Okay. Auf keinen grünen Zweig kommen.
Auf keinen grünen Zweig kommen.
Okay. Auf keinen grünen Zweig kommen. Okay. You've got green in there.
Yeah.
No green. No, keinen is no, green. Kommen is to arrive or come, or Zweig. Was bedeutet Zweig? What does Zweig mean?
Zweig is a branch of a tree.
So there are no green branches appearing.
Well, something common, sort of to reach to it. So you can't reach, or it's not to reach a green branch, which of course doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
So let's just see the literal translation. The literal translation of the phrase is not reach a green branch.
The question is, what does it mean? Because it is an idiom. So the literal translation is no use to us whatsoever.
Okay, but we would eventually get to getting nowhere.
Nowhere. And the story behind that is really, or the meaning behind that, because I've had a fascinating time finding out where all these idioms come from, because I've heard them. Auf keinen grünen Zweig kommen. I've heard that so many times. I know it means getting nowhere. I had no idea why. And it originates from earlier customs, this is years ago, where new homeowners were given a green branch as a present. And
Right.
the reason for that is it was believed that the good spirits that lived in the evergreen trees would move into the new house with them. So that would be something obviously quite important. Now, those that were too poor to buy a house never got the green branch.
Okay.
And hence they didn't get anywhere because they didn't make it rich enough to buy a house.
Because they didn't get the green branch.
Well, no, they didn't make it rich enough to buy the house, and therefore they didn't get the branch. So if somebody didn't get the branch, you already knew that they were poor.
Right. Okay. On to phrase 2 then. And I'm going to go with the German first. That would be sensible. Noch grün hinter den Ohren.
Ja. Noch grün hinter den Ohren.
Inter is behind, den Ohren is ears, and grün, as before, is green. So green behind the ears.
Yeah, or still green. The noch is still green behind the ears. And of course, what do we say in English?
Well, just a minute. We'll get the literal translation is still green behind the ears, and we say on in England.
Did you say on Angleterre?
No, I didn't. No, you didn't hear that story. Wet behind the ears. This is a German show, German learning show. Shouldn't be speaking French. My apologies for that if you caught that. Okay, so the translation is wet behind the ears, and the original phrase was still green behind the ears.
Yeah. The German origin most likely comes from fruit, because when fruit is still green, it's not ripe yet. It's young.
That's
and
true.
not ripe, and until it gets the color it's supposed to have. I don't know where the wet behind the ears comes from. Is that because little children can't dry themselves properly? I don't know. No idea.
I have no idea either. And Chris is saying too young.
Too young, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Phrase 3. Green again. Sich grün und blau ärgern.
Ärgern. Sich grün und blau ärgern.
So green and blue.
What's sich ärgern?
Sich ärgern. Sich is third person, reflexive noun, himself, herself. Grün, we've been here before, because this is not green and blue. This is, we would say black and blue.
No, actually, we don't. As far as I can tell, we don't have an equivalent in English. Just an explanation in a minute.
Okay.
Sich ärgern is to get angry.
To get green and blue angry.
Yeah. There. I don't think we have an idiom about getting green and blue angry. So the meaning is really, well, you can show you in a minute when you get to the actual meaning.
Okay. And I'm just going to scroll down, and the translation is to be extremely angry.
Extremely angry. And when I did the research about that one, I only found out that the origin of that German saying isn't very clear. But a lot of phrases use colors as intensifiers.
Right. Okay.
And if so sich ärgern is just to be angry, but if you're really angry, then so they use the green and blue as an intensifier.
Understood. Okay, so let's go on to phrase 4, which is a bit longer. We discussed
a whole sentence.
Oh, great. Einem geschenkten Gaul schaut man nicht ins Maul.
Right, now you said Maul, right? So therefore, Gaul. Einem geschenkten Gaul schaut man nicht ins Maul.
All right, okay.
You might be able to guess this one, because actually I didn't do any research on this one, because we have a similar, or almost the same.
Well, don't like a gift horse in the mouth.
That's the English one. Yeah.
Okay, let's try and get there. So Geschenkten Gaul is a gift, but it's not a Gaul, is it?
No, Gaul is just another word for a horse, or it may even be a particular one. It makes sense to use that word here rather than Pferd, because then it doesn't rhyme anymore. Yeah,
Oh,
einem
right,
geschenkten
okay.
Pferd schaut man nicht ins Maul. It doesn't have the same meaning. Whereas einem geschenkten Gaul is far better.
So Gaul is an alternative to Pferd, depending on the circumstances. Schaut man nicht ins Maul, in the mouth.
Yeah. Maul is colloquial for mouth.
Right, okay. And we go over to, we say hello to before we just finish this one off, then come. So the literal translation is don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Sorry, literal translation. John, you put me off. One doesn't look a gift horse in the mouth. And our equivalent phrase in England is don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Catching up with John. John, thank you for joining us. The idiom wet behind the ears is a reference to a newborn baby still wet with amniotic fluid. Thank you, John.
Right. So I was almost right. I did think of babies, but I didn't think of that. Thank you. Yes.
We learn things on this broadcast. And over to Chris. And Chris is saying, hopefully, I think that you're really angry. You can't
breathe.
Breathe
you can't
anymore.
breathe anymore because you're hungry. You can get you'll get like a blue color. Yes, I think I read something similar, but it wasn't quite clear whether the meaning came from that. So that could be an explanation.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, so phrase 5.
Oh, this one is
Jemandem in eine Gardenenpredigt halten. Jemandem eine Gardenenpredigt halten.
Jemandem eine Gardinenpredigt halten.
Oh, right, okay. Jemand is someone. Halten is to give.
Well, halten on its own would be to hold, but eine Predigt halten. Predigt. Do you know what Predigt is?
Nein.
Predigt is something that a vicar does on Sundays.
Preach.
To give a sermon. Predigt is a sermon.
So
what's Gardinen? Gardinen, what's that?
Well, I'm going to guess it's gardens, but that's going to be totally wrong.
No, that is completely wrong. Yeah. Gardinen are curtains.
Okay. And that's why I don't know. Okay. So the literal translation is give somebody a curtain sermon. Now, that doesn't mean that's as we said earlier, these can be nonsensical. That doesn't really make any sense, Angelika.
Well, the most interesting thing is I found out the meaning of it, which is absolutely fantastic, or where the origin, where it came from. And the origin is think back to the old days when the beds had curtains around. Okay.
Those sort of curtains.
Those days. Yeah. Those sort of curtains, not the curtains on the windows, but the curtains around the bed. If a husband came home late and drunk and whatever else, it was behind the curtain that the wife was allowed to tell him off without him losing faith.
Oh.
And nowadays it's used for anybody. So this is now you can tell somebody, it's giving somebody a telling off. And nowadays you can tell anybody off. It's not for the women, the wives, to tell off their husbands anymore. But when I looked again, I think earlier on, before I sent over the sentence to you, apparently a curtain, it actually comes from the English, a curtain sermon, which I'd never heard before either.
I've never heard that. So that's...
So you obviously never got one then?
No. Well, not saying I didn't get a telling off, but I never got a curtain sermon. And our equivalent is to give somebody a telling off, which is what you just said. So yeah, okay, curtain sermon.
That's
No,
lovely origin story. I thought because I knew this saying. I've known this for years, but I never really thought about where it came from. And I always wondered. I always imagined somebody standing at the curtain, but actually, if it's behind the bed curtains, that makes a lot more sense.
it does. Right, on to phrase 6. This is our final phrase before we get to the wonderful tongue twister. Einen grünen Daumen haben.
Ja, einen grünen Daumen haben.
A green. To have a green Daumen. Oh, should I know this one?
Das ist der Daumen.
Thumb.
Ja.
To have a green thumb.
Ja.
To be a gardener. Well, it's exactly the same translation, isn't it? There is no idiom. Well, we can do a literal translation and get our version. To have a green thumb.
Our version is actually slightly different.
Oh, wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
Oh, to have green fingers.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, thank you for the image which
of the thumb.
Okay, right, everybody, stand back. This is this week's only tongue twister, but as we would say up north, it's a good one. And I did for my sins, because I knew this wouldn't actually fit on screen. Just give me a second, I'm messing about with something. Hide. Okay, hide. I've broken it. That is going to be forever on screen now. Hide. All right,
no, it's gone.
I'm going to try and read it as it scrolls across. So this is
okay.
this is the tongue twister. Griesbei bleibt Griesbei und Kriegsbeil bleibt Kriegsbeil bleibt Kriegsbeil und Griesbei bleibt Griesbei. Oh, whew. I don't think I got it in any speed. I think we needed it to be a bit faster. Angelika, your turn.
Grießbrei bleibt Grießbrei und Kriegsbeil bleibt Kriegsbeil. I'll wait for the scroll. Kriegsbeil bleibt Kriegsbeil und Grießbrei bleibt Grießbeil.
Perfect.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It is the word come. You've got words with a gr, and then the ie, and then br and ei. Yeah, so Griesbrei is not the easiest word to say on its own, but then you've got bleibt Griesbrei, and then to really throw the letter combination, then we have Kriegsbeil, bleibt Kriegsbeil. So it is really just a play on those two words, which on their own are okay to say, but in concession together like this, and then you're supposed to say it fast. I can't say this one fast either. Griesbrei bleibt Griesbrei und Kriegsbeil bleibt Kriegsbeil. Yeah.
You've gone. Okay, then, to be fair, Griesbrei bleibt Griesbrei und Kriegsbeil bleibt Kries. I'm going to. Okay, so let's go on. I haven't got a translation to that. What's the translation?
You should do. The translation.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't got it on there. Okay. Well, Griesbrei is semolina. Okay, right. and Kriegsbeil is a hatchet. So actually in English, it isn't even a tongue twister. It isn't funny or anything. So literally just means semolina stays semolina and hatchet stays hatchet. And then again, the other way around, hatchet stays hatchet and semolina stays semolina. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The German doesn't make any sense. It is really trying to get those words out with those particular letter combinations.
Okay, and over to Chris, and Chris is saying, I know HaagenPrig in Dutch is hedgerow sermon. See,
Ah.
we're
Yes, I
learning.
wonder why in Dutch it's called a hedgerow sermon and not a curtain sermon. So they've obviously done it behind the hedgerow, so
Your
nobody
husband,
can see it.
yeah, your husband comes home at night. He's not allowed to go past the hedgerow until you called him off. Right, we don't. I mean,
No idea.
okay. Right, let's rewind. Go back to the beginning. You are watching Ask Angelika, German language tuition. I wish this could go a bit faster. Idioms and tongue twisters. Series 4.
G.
Oh, it should be G. It should be G. Angelika's going to tell me it should be G. Season 4, episode 7. Okay. And this time, the German will be read perfectly. I'll have a go at the English.
Auf keinen grünen Zweig kommen.
The literal translation is not reach a green branch. So we'll not be able to reach it. And then the translation is getting nowhere. And we're told that if you got a new house, then you got a green branch. If you didn't get a new house, you didn't get a green branch, and therefore you were going nowhere.
Still cool. Noch grün hinter den Ohren.
Okay, and we went for the literal translation, which was still green behind the ears, which translated to wet behind the ears. And both Angelika and I said, what does that mean? And Mr. Upton gave us a derivation, which I'm going to show on screen now. I've broken it just a minute. The idiom wet behind the ears is a reference to a newborn baby still wet with amniotic fluid. See, we do learn things. Okay. So on to phrase 3. Over to you.
Sich grün und blau ärgern.
And the literal translation is get angry, green and blue. And the exact equivalent in English is to be extremely angry.
Yeah, we don't have an idiom for that, really, do we?
No, we just lose the plot.
Or swear, I guess. There would be swear words in it.
Okay.
Einem geschenkten Gaul schaut man nicht ins Maul.
And the literal translation is one doesn't look a gift horse in the mouth. And our version of that is don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Okay. Phrase 5.
Jemandem eine Gardinenpredigt halten.
Literal translation of phrase 5 is give somebody a curtain sermon, which we'd all never heard of before. And our equivalent is to give somebody telling off. And Chris said, oh, wait a minute. I'll get this the right way around a minute. Right, I'm going to try again. I've broken it. No, I haven't. Okay, and Chris said, I know HaagenPrig in Dutch, sorry, is a hedgerow sermon. Okay, phrase 6.
Einen grünen Daumen haben.
It sounded pretty much like that when I said it, which is good, really. And the literal translation is to have a green thumb. The garden equivalent for the allotmenteers watching is to have green fingers. Okay, and now the tongue twister, we only have the German version of. You have to trust us on the English version, and Angelika and I will chant it out afterwards. Angelika, it's over to you.
Grießbrei bleibt Grießbrei und Kriegsbeil bleibt Kriegsbeil. Kriegsbeil bleibt Kriegsbeil und Grießbrei bleibt Grießbrei.
Well done.
That's probably as fast as I can go.
No, that's good. I mean, it's crystal clear, and all the words were right. And the translation is semolina followed by semolina and more semolina, along with. You want to read the translation?
Well, literally, it means semolina stays semolina and hatchet stays hatchet, which I mean is complete rubbish. But then it's complete rubbish in German. But in German, at least you've got the fun of getting those letters right and the pronunciation.
This is true. Right. When shall we return again, Angelika?
in 2 weeks' time, when I will have found something with the letter H in it.
Excellent. Okay. Would you like to close today's show?
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you for watching. Thanks for joining in. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. And until then, it's just for me.
And, well, I've got to do this one. 3, 2, 1. I've got to appear on screen as well.
Okay. Just for me.
Just for me. Bis später. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great weekend. Okay, so I'm just waiting for